Hello, everyone. So, finally, the CLAT 2023 counseling process has been initiated. This time, unlike the previous years, the counseling process will be conducted in two phases. The first two rounds will be completed in the month of January, and the remaining rounds will start in the month of May. In this session, I'll try to help you understand in a very simple way how the entire counseling process, based on which allotment of the national law universities will be done, will be conducted over the next couple of months. It was announced yesterday, 28th of December, and all the students who have qualified must have received an SMS or an email, or you can even check whether you have been called for the admission counseling process by logging into your CLAT consortium account. Please understand that you have to check your qualification by logging into your CLAT 2023 account. SMS or email may not be necessary, and consortium will not be responsible just in case you have not received the SMS or email. So you have to take note of this, and you have to ensure that you check your account and ensure if you have got the call to participate in the admission counseling process for CLAT 2023, you take the necessary steps as required. The registration opened on 28th of December at 6 p.m. and will remain open till 6 p.m. 12th of January 2023. During this period, you are advised to make a payment of 30,000 rupees in case you are from general category, and 20,000 rupees in case you are from SC, ST, OBC, PWD, EWS, or backward classes category, or any category as applicable. You have to make this payment, which is counseling registration fee. If you don't make the payment within the stipulated time frame, you will not be considered for admissions to the National Law University participating in CLAT 2023. By the way, National Law University Tripura is not participating in CLAT 2023, and whether or not they'll be taking admissions this academic year will be clear very soon. The payment of counseling registration fee can only be done online through your CLAT 2023 account. There is no other way you can make this payment. This payment is also refundable. So just in case you exit, there is a time frame given for that. Just in case you exit within that time frame, or you do not participate in further rounds of counseling within a stipulated time frame, the entire counseling registration fee paid by you will be refunded back to the original payment source. It is advised that you do not wait till 12th of January to make the payment. Ensure that you complete the entire process well ahead of time, or at least by 10th of January itself. Even if you have to take any calls, please do so before 10th of January. By calls, I mean if you want to take some time to think through whether you should be participating or not, that will completely depend on your chances. I'm sure you are working on that. You are looking at the previous year's data at the same time. Whatever call you take, please ensure the payment is done by 10th of January, and do not wait till the last moment, which is 6 p.m. 12th of January. Without the payment of counseling registration fee, you'll not be considered, or any candidate will not be considered for any of the rounds to be conducted by the consortium at a later stage. Now, how do you register and how do you make this payment? The process is very simple. Log into your CLAT account, your CLAT 2023 account, and click on the Make Payment button. So, in case you have been considered for admissions to the National Law University, this button, this radio tab, will be available in your account. Please understand, the consortium generally calls 5 times the number of seats available in each of the category. This is done to ensure that tomorrow, if seats remain vacant, there are candidates available who can be offered that seat. Once you see this button, which is about make payment, which is the amount, the counseling registration fee amount, whether it is 30,000 or 20,000 as applicable to you, you make this payment and wait until the screen shows payment successful. As I said earlier, do not wait till the last moment to avoid any technical mishaps. Before I talk about the allotment process of the National Law Universities this year, let us first look at the schedule of allotment. Till 6 p.m., 12th of January 2023, every candidate who has received the notification, the call to participate in the counseling process of 2023 must register and make the payment as required. The first allotment list of the National Law Universities will be published on 18th of January at 10:30 a.m. Remember, right now, you have not been allotted a National Law University. Only those candidates will be allotted a National Law University who participate in the counseling process and pay the counseling registration fee. So, from among those candidates only, the subsequent allotment rounds will be completed. The first allotment list comes on 18th of January, and you can confirm your seat in the National Law University, which has been allotted to you till 22nd of January, 10:30 p.m. Now, how do you confirm your seat? You have to make a payment of confirmation fee to the consortium. You'll also have the option to exit, freeze, or float, which I'll be explaining shortly. If you do not make the payment of the confirmation fee, the consortium will consider you to be not interested in further rounds, not interested in the admission process, and your amount which you had paid to participate, the counseling registration fee, will be refunded back to you. So if you want to be considered for admission, if you want to take admissions in the National Law University, which has been allotted, or in the subsequent rounds, you have to first make the payment of the confirmation fee, which is 20,000 rupees. For the first list allottees, they can do so till 10:30 p.m. on 22nd of January. You will not get an opportunity after this. Subsequently, based on the vacancies created, a second allotment list will be published on 27th of January at 10:30 a.m. Those candidates who have been allotted a seat in any of the National Law Universities in the second allotment list, or those who have been upgraded, only they will be considered. The candidates who have been allotted a National Law University in the second allotment list will be required to make the payment of confirmation fee to the consortium to freeze their seats or to keep the float option open. They can do so till 31st of January 2023. Only the first list and the second list will be available till this period. And those candidates who have been considered for admission, those candidates who have been allotted a national or university, will now be required to make the payment to the university, whatever the difference of amount will be, the university fee. You have already made a counseling registration fee payment, you have already made a confirmation fee payment, that will be adjusted in the overall fee, and the remaining balance needs to be paid till 20th May 2023 for the students who were allotted an NLU in the first and second round of counseling. You will get time till 20th May. The third list will be published on 25th May, and this is where the subsequent round of counseling starts. The students who will be allotted an NLU in the third round, now they will exercise their freeze float option, and candidates who had confirmed their seat by making the payment to the national law university earlier allotted and who opted for the float options, they can also look forward to an upgrade. The payment will be made will be have to be made till 10:30 p.m. 30th May. Looking at the vacancies, the consortium will publish the fourth allotment list on 5th of June. And for the allottees, the payment has to be made by 10th of June, 10:30 p.m. And finally, the fifth and the final allotment list will be published on 15th of June. And remaining payment has to be made by those candidates who are exercising the float options or who have been allotted in a seat in the fifth and final allotment list. They can do so by 20th of June, 10:30 p.m. So this is the entire time frame of the admission counseling process for CLAT 2023. Please adhere to the timelines. You will not be provided any extra second to complete the process. It is advised that you do not wait for the last day in the entire scheme of things. Now, what are the documents required? In order to secure and confirm your seat in the National Law University allotted to you, you will have to submit a scanned copy of your class 10th mark sheet, CLAT 2023 admit card, which was signed by the invigilator when you wrote the CLAT examination on 18th of December. As of now, class 12th mark sheet is not mandatory. Only in case you had passed your class 12 in 2022 or earlier, you will be required to present your class 12th mark sheet. If you're appearing for your board examinations in 2023, you can submit the same at a later stage. Similarly, character certificate or the conduct certificate, which is issued by the school you last attended or the education institute you last attended, along with the transfer or migration certificate, is not mandatory at this point of time. But caste certificate, if applicable, if you belong to any of the categories, reserve category, you have to submit your caste certificate. Similarly, candidates from the PWD category or specially abled person category, they'll have to also submit the PWD or SAP certificate. In case you have been allotted a seat under the state quota or domicile quota, you'll have to submit the scanned copy of your domicile certificate or residence certificate, which is issued by your state. For other categories, you have to present supporting documents like if you are a ward of serving or retired defense personnel, if you are claiming reservation under EWS category. In those cases, you have to also submit the supporting document to prove your candidature under the particular category. Now, how the allotment of the national law universities is done by the consortium. The allotment completely depends on your rank and the preference of the national law university you had submitted earlier. It is also dependent on the candidates who have scored better than you and who have higher ranks than you. So, not only your rank and preference will be looked into to allot a national law universities, the rank and preference of those having a better rank than you will be considered first. So their choices will be given preference, and only if a seat is available after their choice has been mapped, you will be given your best possible choice through the preference order you have submitted, the deadline of which was till 17th of December. There'll be three options available once a national law university has been allotted to you in any of the list allocation lists. First, second, third, fourth, fifth. Three options will be provided to every candidate: freeze, float, and exit. The three options will be available. Let us understand what exactly the three options mean to you. Exit is very simple. You are not interested in the counseling process. You are not interested to take admission this year for some reason. You can click on the exit button and you'll not be considered at a later stage at all. Exit means you are out of the entire admission process based on CLAT 2023 for the academic year 23-24. Freeze. If you have been allotted a national law university and you are satisfied with the allotment and you are not interested in any further rounds of counseling, you can exercise this option. For example, you have been allotted National Law School of India University, Bangalore, and that's your first preference. There is no upgrade which will happen for you because your first preference has been allotted to you. So you can only go ahead with the freeze option. But if you have been allotted a national law university like WBNUJS or Nalsar Hyderabad, and for some reason you decide to study in that particular university, you can exercise the freeze option and you'll not be considered for upgrade in the subsequent rounds. My suggestion would be, if you have a very pressing reason to stay in that particular university, then only exercise this option. Otherwise, keep the float option open. Only in case you have been allotted and the NLS Bangalore, freeze is something you'll have to exercise. The moment you freeze the seat which has been allotted, you will be required to pay the confirmation fee of rupees 20,000. This fee is non-refundable. Remember, while the admission counseling fee is refundable, the confirmation fee is non-refundable. For the student who have been allotted a seat, this confirmation fee has to be paid before you select the freeze or float option. You'll not be provided freeze or float option. You cannot exercise that option unless you have made the payment of confirmation fee, which is 20,000 rupees and non-refundable. For the students who have been allotted a seat in the first allotment list, They can make the payment and exercise the freeze option till 22nd of January, 10:30 p.m. For the candidates allotted a national university in the second allotment list, they can freeze their seat till 10:30 p.m. 31st of January 2023. The moment you freeze your seat, you'll not be considered for subsequent rounds, even if you wish to, you change your mind. And the candidates who have been allotted a seat in the first and second allotment list, and those who exercise the freeze option, they must pay the remaining university fees after adjusting the counseling registration fee and the confirmation fee by 20th of May 2023. In case of float option, you keep your upgradation chances open. You're not satisfied with the allotment, but you see a chance of moving up in your preference order in case there is a vacancy in the national university which is higher in your preference order. In such cases, those candidates who exercise the float option, they can be upgraded to the higher preference based on the availability of seats created due to vacancy. Such candidates will also be required to pay the confirmation fee of rupees 20,000 non-refundable within the stipulated time frame. To exercise this option in the third and fourth round of counseling, you have to pay the university the balance fee to the national university which has been allotted earlier in the first and second rounds of counseling within the time frame itself. So first and second round, if you have been allotted, if you want to exercise a float option, you have to still make that payment to the national law university allotted earlier. If you have upgraded to a higher preference NLU, you will be migrated to the next NLU. Please understand, if you keep the float option open and tomorrow you are allotted a national university which was higher in your preference order, you lose your seat in the earlier allotted national university and now you have to mandatorily move to the newly allotted national law university. You cannot say at a later stage, no, I want to be in the previously allotted national law university. If you exercise the float option and if you have been upgraded, you'll have to move to the new national law university, and this is mandatory. You cannot keep your previous seat with you. How the refund of counseling registration fee will happen. If any candidate is not allotted a seat by the end of the fifth round of allotment, or if any candidate has not chosen the freeze or float option and they have exited the counseling process, the counseling registration fee will be refunded in full. But where a candidate has been allotted a seat and chooses a freeze or a float option and later chooses to exit or fails to complete the admission process by making the payment to the national law university allotted, in that case, the counseling registration fee will be refunded fully if you exercise the exit option before 10:30 p.m. on 10th of June 2023. If you do it later, then a deduction of 5,000 rupees will be done, and the balance, which will be 25,000 in case of general category and 15,000 in case of other categories, will be refunded back. So that's the entire process of counseling this year, the allotment of national law universities. Please Check your account on a regular basis, the CLAT login account, CLAT 23 the login account, and ensure you adhere to the timelines as given by the consortium. They will not excuse they'll not entertain any excuse, even if it's due to some technical reasons. For example, while you're making the payment and there is a technical issue you faced from on the bank portal, the consortium will not be held responsible for that. So please ensure you are following the timelines. All the best.